Before the world knew him as India's missile man, before he became people's president, before his name was etched into the scientific and moral fabric of a nation, he was just a boy from a small, sea-locked town on the edge of India's southern coast, Rameswaram. Born into a middle-class Tamil Muslim family, Avul Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam entered the world in the calm and sacred town of Rameswaram, which then belonged to the erstwhile Madras state. His father, Jainulabdin, was not a man of formal education or financial wealth, but he was a man of innate wisdom and generosity of spirit that left a deep impression on young Kalam. His mother, Ashiyamma, complemented this with a quiet strength and kindness that radiated through her daily acts of compassion. It is said that more outsiders ate in their house than their own family members, a reflection of both their culture and values. Hospitality wasn't a ritual in their home, it was a way of life. Kalam remembered himself as a short boy with undistinguished looks, especially when compared to his tall and attractive parents. Yet, there was a unique glow to his character, one born of love, discipline, and emotional security. He lived in an ancestral house built in the mid-19th century, a solid structure of brick and limestone nestled along Mosque Street. His father, though austere, ensured that every necessity, food, medicine, clothing, was always within reach. Then came 1939, a year that would shake the world. The Second World War broke out. Kalam was just 8 years old. Even in the quiet of Rameswaram, the war cast strange shadows. A sudden market demand for tamarind seeds emerged, and young Kalam, ever alert, began collecting and selling them to a provision store. He earned a modest 1 anna a day, an old Indian coin, but to him it was a princely sum, a badge of independence. As the war intensified, trains stopped halting at Rameswaram station. His cousin, Samsuddin, who distributed newspapers, now had to catch bundles thrown from a moving train. He needed help. Naturally, Kalam stepped in, this time earning his first wages. That simple act of catching newspaper bundles and earning money gave him a surge of pride he could still feel decades later. But childhood wasn't just about work and wages. It was about values and people and the unspoken rules of a deeply segregated society. Kalam speaks honestly of how Rameswaram was rigidly divided along religious and caste lines. But his own friendships defied those walls. His 3 closest friends, Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan, and Siva Prakasan, all came from orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. Yet, as children, they never saw each other as different. Religion and social rank didn't exist on their playgrounds. Ramananda, in fact, was a son of Pakshi Lakshman Sastri, the high priest of Rameswaram temple. He later inherited that very priesthood. Arvindan took to managing transport for pilgrims, while Sivaprakasan became a catering contractor for Southern Railways. Life was interwoven. Temples, mosques, childhood games, and sacred ponds. During the annual Sri Sita Ram Kalyanam ceremony, Kalam's family would help ferry the idols of Lord Ram and Sita across Ramatirth, a pond near their home, on specially arranged boats. Religion wasn't a wall, it was a shared story. But not everyone thought that way. One day, in 5th standard, a new teacher joined Kalam's class. Kalam, who wore a skull cap, always sat in the front row beside Ramanand Sastri, who wore a sacred thread of a Brahmin. The teacher, disturbed by this pairing, ordered Kalam to sit at the back, citing religious and social norms. The pain of that moment etched itself into Kalam's memory. His friend wept openly. Kalam moved silently to the last row, but the story didn't end there. When their parents heard of it, Pakshi Lakshman Sastri, Ramanand's father, took a bold stand. He summoned the teacher and in front of both boys condemned his prejudice. He warned him not to spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance. He demanded an apology or his departure from the island. This act wasn't just brave, it was transformative. The teacher repented, and Kalam noted that firm conviction with which Lakshmana Shastri spoke, and this reformed the young teacher's mindset. But there were other teachers who lit brighter fires in Kalam's heart. One such man was Sivasubramanian Iyer, his science teacher, an orthodox Brahmin with a conservative wife. Iyer was a rebel in thought. He believed that education should break barriers, not reinforce them. He told Kalam, "I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of the big cities." One day, Iyer invited Kalam to his house for dinner. An extraordinary gesture at that time. His wife, however, was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy entering her ritually pure kitchen. But Iyer didn't flinch. He served Kalam himself and sat beside him while eating, a quiet but powerful act of defiance. Kalam wondered later if she had watched him eat. Had she seen any difference in the way he drank water or cleaned the floor? Perhaps not. The next week, when Iyer invited him again, it was his wife who served Kalam with her own hands. Barriers, Kalam saw, could fall, but only if people had the courage to face resistance gently, consistently, and with conviction. Time moved on. The war ended. India's freedom was approaching. Gandhiji's words echoed across the country. In double quotes, Indians will build their own India. A wave of hope and optimism spread through the nation and into the mind of young Kalam. He told his father that he wanted to leave Rameswaram and study further in Ramanathapuram, the district headquarters. His mother hesitated, but his father, with a philosopher's clarity, said, "Abdul, I know you have to go away, to grow. Does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest?" And then he quoted the mystic poet Khalil Gibran. In double quotes, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts." With these words, Kalam was released into the world. He stepped out of his small town, armed with the values of honesty, empathy, courage, and vision. What followed in his life? The engineering, the space missions, the missile programs, the presidency, all trace back to this foundation. A foundation built on, number one, the dignity of work, no matter how humble. Number two, the power of friendships that ignored religion. Number three, the courage to resist injustice even as a child. Number four, the teacher who led by example. And finally, number five, the parents who let him